Hello everyone. This is quantitative section, chapter 2, data sufficiency. I'm Karthik, lecturer of Royal Academy, Mangalore. Today, okay, so we'll see the first problem. So first problem is how many employees of company are surveyors. How many employees of company are surveyor. This is the statement type of problems. So two statements are given. So exactly 5 by 8 of the employees of company are not surveyor. The fraction is given which are not surveyors. Here they are asking what, how many employees, how many members of a company are surveyors. But here fraction is given, that is also not surveyor. Second statement, what is given, the architects in company are constitute 25% of the company total employees. So 18 members, that is a architecture, that is nothing but 25% of the company total employees. But the total employees not mentioned here also. Okay, so the option of statement problem is like this only. In all the statement problem, the option is like this only. So first option is what, statement 1 alone is sufficient for the answer for the question. So statement 1 itself you can answer for the question. So question is what, how many employees of company are surveyors. That is actually question. Okay, so from the first statement alone you can answer for the question. In that case, first option is correct. Second statement, what is that, statement 2 alone is sufficient for the answer for the question. So statement 2 is enough or sufficient is for answer for the question. So that in that case second option is correct. So both statement together is required, both statement together is required to answer for the question. Then that is a third option. Okay, both statement is required, both statement together is required to answer for the question, then third option is correct. Fourth option is what, each statement alone you can answer for the question. So first statement alone you can answer for the question, along with second statement alone you can answer for the question. In that case fourth option is correct, each statement alone is sufficient to answer for the question. So last option, E option, is what, statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient. So enough information is provided in the statement to answer for the question. In that case, that fifth option is correct. So first option is statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer for the question. Second second option is what, statement 2 alone you can answer for the question. The both statement together you can answer for the question, that is third option. Fourth option, each statement alone you can answer for the question. So that is fourth option. Fifth option is data is not sufficient. So in this type of problem we'll see what is which option is correct. So statement 1, what is given, we have to find out how many employees, how many. Here in this type of problem we not can, they are not required the answer, just whether it is possible or not, you have to tell. Okay, so from the first statement alone, is it possible to find out answer or not? So second statement alone you can find out answer or not. Both statement together, is it possible to find out answer or not? In that way you have to tell the answer. So statement 1, okay, so statement 1 says that 5 by 8 of the employees are not surveyors. Okay, so 5 by 8 of the employees are not surveyor, that is given in first statement, which means that remaining 3 by 8 is nothing but 1 minus 5 by 8 is nothing but 3 by 8 of the employees are surveyors. So this first statement information is provided that 3 by 8 of the employees are surveyors. But what is asking in the question, how many employees? They here just given the fraction. We did the along with that fraction they are not mentioned the what is the total number of employees. So there is it is not possible to calculate how many employees of a company are surveyors. Just to provide the information that 3 by 8 of the fraction of the employees are surveyor, just it is provided that much. So from first statement alone you can't answer for the question. So first option is wrong. Okay, first option is wrong. Next, go for the second statement. So second statement, what is given, 18 architects in company R constitute 25% of the company total employees. So 18 is equal to 25%. 25%, how to write percent? 25 divided by 100 is nothing but 0.25 into R. R is nothing but company name. Okay, R is nothing but company name. So R, how much you are getting? So 72. 72 is the total employees. So from this statement you can get the total number of employees. Okay, total so 18 architects in a company R constitute 25% of the company's total employees. Company total employees, you can, but not how many employees are surveyors. You are getting the total number of employees, but you don't know how many employees are surveyors. So from the second statement alone you can't answer for the question. Here asking what? How many employees of company R are surveyors. So first statement alone we can't answer for the question. Why? Because there just a fraction you can get, but the total number of employees is not find out. So second statement, so they are not mentioned the from the second statement you can determine the total number of employees in a company with the help of 18 architects, and that is a 25% of the total company. That statement is given. Within this statement you can find out total number of employees, but surveyor information is not provided in the second statement. Next, third step is what? After eliminating first statement as well as second statement, go for the third statement. Third statement says what? Both statement together are sufficient. Both statement, combine these two statements. So what is that? Combining statement 1 and 2. Statement 1 says what? Just the fraction is given, 1/8 of the employees are surveyors. That is nothing but that information is provided by the statement 1. Statement 2 is provided what? Total number of employees, that is 72. So from this statement you can determine the number of employees in a company are surveyors. How to determine? So first statement you can get the fraction 3/8. Second statement you will get the total number of employees, that is 72. So from this you can get the answer as 27. So 27 employees of company R are surveyors. That information is provided by combining these two statements. I hope all of you understood. So which option is correct? Both statements together are sufficient to answer for the question. So third C option is correct. C option is okay. Next problem we'll see. So here, if a to the power of 5 is greater than or equal to minus 32 and a is an integer, what is the value of a? So find out the value of a. So here two statement is given. So first statement itself, what is the first statement? 6a plus 18 is less than or equal to 12. And second statement, what is given? a square is greater than 2. Okay, two statement is given. So from which statement you can answer for the question, you have to find out. So the option is like this. This option is same for all the problems, statement type of problem. Statement 1 alone is sufficient. Second option is statement 2 is sufficient. Third option is both statement together are sufficient. Fourth option is each statement alone you can answer for the question. Fifth statement is statement 1 and 2 together is not sufficient for the answer. So first statement, we'll see the first statement. So you have gives the inequality that you could solve A. Okay, so how to solve? So you just subtract. Okay, you just subtract. Subtract 12. So just 12. 18 you just move to right hand side. 18 you just move to right hand side. So then what is happens? 6a is less than or equal to minus 6. What happens? 12 minus 18. 12 minus 18. Once it is moving from left side to right side. So what happens? 12 minus it is plus sign changes to minus sign. So 12 minus it is equal to. Consider this is equal to. So then you just move to left hand side to right hand side. So 12 minus 18. So what is the result you are getting? 6a less than or equal to minus 6, which simplifies So then you will get what happens, a is less than or equal to -1. So first statement tells that a is less than or equal to -1. Okay, so then what happens, combine this with the information from the question stem. Okay, so in the question what is given, a to the power of 5 is greater than or equal to -32. So how to find out the answer of a? So how to find out the answer of a? Answer of a is nothing but a to the power of 5, right? A is nothing but 32 to the power of 1 by 5. Okay, so in that way you should write, then you can determine. So a to the power of a is equal to then -32 to the power of 1 by 5, 1 by 5 to the power of 1 by 5. Then you will get what? So 1 by 5. So what happens, you will get -2 as the answer, -2 as the answer. So this is the expression. From this expression you will get a is greater than or equal to -2, and the a is an integer. A is an integer. And so what is the value? A is an integer. What is the value of a? So here they are asking the value of a. So from a first statement what it tells, what a is less than or equal to -1, less than or equal to -1. So statement 2 tells what? So a is greater than or equal to -2. So one answer you are not getting. In the from first statement it is tells that a is -1. So here you can tell that a is -2. So two different answer you are getting. So from first statement you are getting -1 or -2. Any answer is possible. Any answer is possible. -1 or -2. So that is two different answer you are getting. So from first statement alone you can't judge which whether it is possible or not. So you can find out the answer for the question or not. So from first statement alone you can't find out answer. Why? Because first statement alone it is tells that a is less than or equal to -1. Okay, so it may be -1 or -2. So the -2 value is less than -1. -2 value is less than -1. So that -1 is also possible, -2 is also possible. So from first statement alone you can't find out the answer. Next, go for the second option. Second option is directly says that a square is greater than 2. So what happens? So it means that a is greater than 1 or that a is less than 1. So here from this expression it is tells that a is greater than -2. So here also you will get square root of 2. Square root of 2 is around how much answer we are getting? So around 1, right? So square root of 2. So it is nothing but a is nothing but square root of 2. So square root of 2 is nothing but how much you are getting? Around 1 point something value you are getting, around 1.1 something value you are getting. So it is nothing but consider a as 1. Okay, a as 1 from the second statement. So from this statement what is the value? A is greater than or equal to -2. So it may be the value is in between 1 and -2. Any value is possible. So if it is if you are here they are asking only one value. What is the value of a? So what is the value of a? So from second statement alone you can't judge what is the value of a. So second statement alone you can't find out the answer of a. Why? Because one, so a value in between 1 and -2. It may be 0, it may be -1. Any value is possible. Any value is possible. So from second statement alone you can't find out the answer. Next, third option. What is that? Both statement together. So first statement, what information is given? First statement alone, a is less than or equal to -1. A is less than or equal to -1. Second statement alone, what is the information is provided? A is equal to that either a is equal to. So here what information is provided? A is equal to -2. A is equal to -2 and a is greater than 1. So a is the value of a is -2 to So here in this information is provided a is greater than 1, a is greater than 1. So the only integer value that works both statement is, so here in the first statement which information is provided, either -1 or -2. In second statement what information is provided, either -2 or greater than 1. So while clubbing two statements, so one answer you are getting common. Which option is common, which answer is common? Here in first statement -2 you are getting, second statement also you are getting -2, so answer you are getting -2. So from this club together you will get the answer as a is -2, a is equal to -2. So which statement is correct? Both statement together are sufficient to answer for the question. Both statement together you can answer for the question. I hope all of you understood. So from first statement alone you will get a value a is less than or equal to -1. So you can choose the value of as -1 or -2, -1 or -2. So two different answer we are getting. Second statement either 1, a is greater than 1 or -2, two different answer we are getting. So while clubbing together, here -1 -2, here 1 and -2. So which answer is common in both cases? -2 is common in both cases, so that you can judge that a is equal to -2. Only both statement together is sufficient. While clubbing these two statements you can answer for the question. So option C is correct. So the value of a is -2. That answer is not required for this type of question. Answer C is. So we'll see the next type of problems next little bit first class, right? So it is little bit difficult. So we'll see next type of problem. If 3b minus mod of a is equal to 27, mod of a is equal to 27, what is the value of a? What is the value of b? You have to find out the value of b. So from two statement is given. First statement what is given, a square is equal to 81. Second statement is a cube is greater than 0. Two statement is given. So these are the options. This option is common for all the problems. So we'll see one by one. First statement. So first statement is a square is given. So a square is equal to 81. So take the square root of this 81. You will get what? 81. You will get plus or minus answer, plus or minus answer. So plus or minus 9 is the answer, plus or minus 9 is the answer. So that is the a value. So here mode, what is actually mode? Mode is nothing but you have to add plus 9 or minus 9. It is considered as plus only. So okay, so with the help of that you can whether it is possible to find out answer. So yes, of course you can find out the answer. How to find out? So 3b minus, so mode is nothing but just add 9 only. Why? Because if it is mode, if it is negative also it is converted to positive. So from this you can find out the answer. You can find out the answer of b. So 9 is moves to this side, so 27 plus 9 is 36. b is equal to 36 divided by 3 is nothing but 12. So you can find out answer. So here answer is not important. Within this statement whether it is possible to find out answer or not, that information is required. So from first statement alone you can find out the answer of b. Okay, next go for the second statement. So second statement what tells that a cube is greater than 0. A cube is greater than 0. A cube is positive. Okay, a cube is positive. Okay, so here since negative number are 0, so here that information is not provided. So it may be any value, either 9 or 8, any value is possible, either 9, 8 or any value. So if you choose 8 value, 8 is nothing but 2 cube is 8, so a is 2. Okay, a is 2, so you will get a different b answer. If you choose 9, 9 is 27, 27 is nothing but 3 cube, 3 cube is 27, so 3, you will get different answer. So if you choose 2, you will get different B answer. In case if you choose 2, different B answer. If you choose 3, then different B answer. So 2 different answer you are getting. In second statement alone, 2 different answer you are getting. So that second statement alone you can't find out the answer. So which option is correct? Statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer for the question. So option A is correct. Option A is correct for this question. Next, the nth term of a sequence of distinct positive integer is determined by a to the power of an is equal to k a to the power of n minus 2 and a n minus 1. This information is given where n is greater than or equal to 3 and k is constant. If a2 is equal to 4, a3 is 36, what is the value of 5? 5 is nothing but a to the power what is the value of 5? Okay, is nothing but a to the power a 5 is how much you have to find out. So two statement is given, a1 is equal to 2 and k is equal to 3. So this is the option. Okay, so from which statement alone you can answer for the question. First simplify the equation. So that is nothing but a3 n you just take. Why? Because a3 information is given. A3 information is given. Along with that, n value should be greater than or equal to 3. N value should be greater than or equal to 3. So I will choose n is equal to 3. Just substitute n is equal to 3. N is equal to 3. What happens? A3 is equal to k a to the power of n minus 2. N is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. K to the power of a1 and into a n is 3. 3 minus 1 2. A2 is equal to a3 is how much? A3 is how much? 36. K to the power of a1 into a2 is how much? A2 is 4. So from this information you can determine what is the value of k to the power of a1 is equal to 9. This is a simplification. So simplification. After simplifying this method, I hope all of you understood how to simplify. So n is greater than or equal to 3. So that choose n is equal to 3. A3 is equal to k to the power of n minus 2 is nothing but 3 minus 2 1. So a to the power of 1 and 3 minus 1 2 a2. Okay, so next a3 value is given, that is 36, is equal to k to the power of a1 into a2 value is given, that is 4, and k to the power of a1 is nothing but 36 divided by 4 is nothing but 9. Okay, next. So from first statement, what is given? From first statement, a1 is equal to 2. A1 is equal to 2. That information is given. So from that you can determine the value of k is equal to 3. Okay, you can determine the value of k is equal to 3. So once you know the value of k as well as a, so once you know the value of k as well as a, you can easily determine the value of a5. Okay, you can easily determine the value of a5. So in order to determine the value of a to the a5, so what are the data is given? K as well as a1. K as well as a1. So from first statement, what are the parameter is so from first statement you can determine the value of k. Okay, so here in first statement what is given? A1 is given, so you can easily determine the value of k3. Once you determine the value of k as well as a1, you can easily determine the value of a5. Okay, you can easily determine the value of a5. The question is you have to determine the value of a5. So a5 is nothing but, so you have to determine the value of a5. You can easily determine the value. So here they are not asking whether you find out the answer. So just whether it is possible or not. So if you know the value of k as well as a1, you can easily determine the value of a5. Okay, in second statement, so from first statement alone you can answer for the question. So second statement is what is given? K is equal to 3. So k, this expression k is equal to 3, then you can easily determine the value of a1. So log on both sides, a1 log 3 is equal to log 9 So log 9 divided by log 3 is equal to a1 is equal to log 9 divided by log 3. You will get the answer 2. So you a1 as well as k also you can determine in second case also. So statement 1 and as well as statement 2 in individually is possible to find out the answer. Okay, find out the answer. So which option is correct? Option D is correct. Option D is correct. Each statement alone is sufficient to answer for the question. Each statement alone you can answer for the question. That D option is correct. So from first statement also you can determine with the help of A1 information. With the help of A1 information you can determine the value of k. So once you know the value of k as well as A1, you can easily determine the value of A5. Okay, so next second information, k value is given. So with the help of k value you can easily determine the value of A1. Once you know the value of A1 as well as k5, you can easily determine the value of A5. Okay, so both statement each statement alone you can answer for the question. So option D is correct. A ferry crosses a lake and then return to its starting point by the same route. The first time it crosses the lake, the ferry travels at 15 kilometers per hour. The ferry return trip takes 3 hours. How many hours does the ferry take for the first leg of the trip? First leg of the trip. Okay, so this information is this is a question. So how many you have to find out how many hours does the ferry take for the first leg of the trip. So here the two statement is given. The two statement is what? So ferry average speed for the entire round trip is 12 kilometers per hour. So average speed is given. Average speed is given. Second statement, the distance the ferry covers to cross the lake once is 30 kilometers. So distance is given. So distance is given. So how to find out this type of problem? So we'll see one by one. So statement 1. So statement 1, what is given? So actually the gives the average speed of the entire trip. Average speed of the entire trip. So allowing you to write a second equation involving D and T. Okay, so distance this is actually known distance is equal to rate into time. Okay, rate into distance is equal to rate into time. First leg, second leg and total journey you have to divide like this. First leg is nothing but one way journey, second leg is nothing but return journey, total journey, this is total journey. So distance, first distance we don't know, so that you have to write T. Okay, then rate is given. Rate is how much? 15 kilometer. So first leg rate is given, first one way rate is given, so that is 15 kilometers per hour, kilometer per hour. And time required, time taken for first, that is not given, so that you just write T. Second leg, the distance we don't know, so write D only. And rate is also don't know, second leg, so write R. But time we know, so ferry return trip takes 3 hours. Return trip take how much hours? 3 hours. So then total distance is 2D, D plus D, 2D. And the rate how to calculate? So rate is given. So in the from first statement, the ferry average speed for the entire trip is given. So that is 12. That is given in the first statement. And time hours, T plus 3. So from first leg as well as second leg information is given in question. You have to find out the total journey. Okay, so you have to find out what? How many hours does the ferry take the first leg of the trip? Okay, so time of first leg you have to find out whether this much information is provided. So distance is equal to average speed into time, that is a formula. So from this formula 2D is equal to 12 into T plus 3. So what is that? 12 into T plus 36. 12 3 is a 36. So first this is a total journey information. So from the first leg, what is information is provided? D is equal to 15T. So distance is equal to rate into time. So d is equal to 15 into t. D is equal to 15t. So substitute 15t d in place of d. You just substitute this value 15t. Okay, 2 into 15t is equal to 12t plus 36. In place of d, you just substitute to 15t. Then you will get like this. So 15 to the 30t is equal to 12t plus 36. Okay, then just subtract 30t minus 12t. How much? 18t is equal to 36. Then t is equal to 2. So from the first statement, you can answer for the question. So next, second statement, what is given? The distance the ferry covers to cross the lake once is 30 kilometers. The distance the ferry covers to cross the lake once is 30 kilometers. So distance is given. So d is given, which is exactly what you need to solve the directly for t. So if you know the value of d, so you can easily determine the value of t. So how to determine t? The distance of the ferry covers to cross the lake once. So once is nothing but first leg distance is given, that is 30 kilometer. If you know the value of 30, so you can easily determine. So here in the second statement it is given, this is given. So this is given, second statement 30 is given. So d is equal to rate into time. So d is given 30. So rate is how much? In first case 15. So you can easily determine the value of t. So t is equal to 2. So second statement alone you can answer for the question. So alone two statement alone you can answer for the question. Which option is correct? Option D is correct. Option D is correct. First statement alone you can answer for the question t is equal to 2. Second statement also you will get t is equal to 2. So option D is correct. So next question. So what is the value of 4n minus 5m? What is the value of 4n minus 5m? So based on this information you can directly tell the answer. So rearranging this 4n minus goes to right hand side, what happens? Plus 5m. So here n divided by m is equal to what? N divided by m is equal to what? 5 divided by 4. So the value of n is equal to 5, m is equal to 4. So which option is correct here? You can directly tell the value of the statement 1 is information is provided, n by 5 is equal to m by 4. So based on this information, or else you can rearranging this information. So how we can rearranging? So n, keep n here only. Okay, 5 is equal to m divided by this 4 goes to denominator. So based on this, which one is correct? So this statement is correct. So this is an option. Actually statement 1 alone is sufficient, statement 2 is sufficient. The both statement together, which option? 4n is equal to 5m. So option A is correct. Based on the information, option A is correct. So what is the value of st divided by u? So how to determine the value of st divided by u? So from first statement, what information is provided? S is equal to 3t divided by 4 and u is equal to 2t. Okay, that information is provided. Second statement, s is equal to u minus 10 and u is equal to s plus t plus 2. That information is provided. Okay, so this is an option actually. Based on that, which option is enough to answer for the question? We need the what is the value of st divided by u. So first statement, what is given? St divided by u. So st. So what is from the first statement, what is the value of s? 3t by 4, 3t divided by 4 into t. T value is not given, so directly substitute t divided by u. What is the value of u? 2t. Okay, then simplify 3t square, t into t, 3t square divided by 4 divided by 2t. So 3t square divided by 4, this goes to numerator, is nothing but 1 by, actually this is nothing but like this. So this will goes to numerator, so 1 by 2t, 1 by 2t, 1 by 2t. So tt gets cancel each other, tt get so it is nothing but tt gets cancel each other. Then what happens? 4 to the 8, 8t and 3t square. So tt gets cancelled each other and remaining thing is 3 by 8t. So but t is remaining. So you can't find out the answer. Why? Because t is remaining. We don't know the value of t in the from the first statement. From the first statement you can't find out the answer of t. So from first statement alone you can't find out the answer of st divided by u. Next, go for the second statement. Second statement, what information is provided? S is equal to u minus 10 and that u is equal to s plus t plus 2. Okay, so next u is equal to, so just substitute u is equal to s. In place of s you just substitute to this one. Okay, in place of s you just substitute to u minus 10 plus t plus 2. Then from the second statement you will get the value of t. You will get the value of t from the second statement, but you can't find out the value of st divided by u. They are not provide the information of s as well as u, but you can determine the value of t. Then last, club together statement 1 as well as statement 2. So statement 1 we need t, we don't know the value of t. Second statement you will get the value of t only. So second statement value you just substitute to first statement, you can find out the value of st divided by u. So which answer is correct? So option C is correct. Both statement together are sufficient to find out the answer of st divided by u. Next question, if z is an integer, what is the unit digit of z cube? Okay, z is an integer. Integer is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. That is an integer. What is the unit digit of z cube? What is the unit digit of z cube? Unit digit is nothing but first digit of z cube. You have to find out. So first statement, what is given? Z is a multiple of 5. Z is a multiple of 5. So you can take z is a multiple of 5, right? You can take 10. Okay, you can take 10. Then what is a z cube? 10 z cube. So from first statement, what is that? So you take z as 10. Z as 10. So 10 cube. Here you have to determine z cube, right? 10 cube is how much? 10 cube 1000. 10 cube is 1000. Then unit digit is what? Unit digit is 0. Okay, if you choose z is 5. Z is 5. So z cube is 5 cube. 5 cube is how much? 125. 125. Next, the unit digit of z cube is how much? 5. So two different answer you are getting. In the from the first statement you are getting two different unit digit. So from first statement alone you can't find out the answer. Okay, so second statement, square root of z is an integer. So this is the option. So first statement you can't find out the answer. Second statement, so tells you that square root of z is an integer. This means that z is a perfect square. It stated that is also insufficient information. That is insufficient information. Why? Because square root answer. Here we need what? Cube root. Okay, we need cube of unit digit. So that information is also not perfect. So two statement enough give the information. So which option is correct? E option. E option is nothing but statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient. Is not sufficient for the answer. I hope all of you understood. So from the first statement, two different answer you are getting. Second statement is not sufficient to answer for the question, so that option E is correct. Option E is correct. So next question. If D is the product of exactly two different prime factor, what is the value of the larger of those prime factors? So you have to find out larger though prime factors. So you have to find out the value of D. D is a product of exactly two different prime factor. So two different, distinct is nothing but different prime factor. Prime factor is nothing but 1 and 3, that is a two prime factors. Okay, product of two prime factor, 1 into 2 or 1 2 3, these are the prime numbers, prime factors, different prime factor. What is the value of largest of those prime factors? You have to find out the largest those prime factor. So first statement, so in this here this is the option 5 option, same as previous problems. So statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer for the question. Statement 2 is alone is sufficient to answer for the question. Both statement together is required to answer for the question. Each statement alone is sufficient to answer for the question. Statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient to answer for the question. These are the 5 options. Okay, so we'll see so how to solve this problem. Okay, so statement 1, what is given? So D is false in between 100 to 120. Okay, 100 to 120. So first find out the prime factors. So prime factors, it is exactly two different prime factors. So 2 is a one of the prime factor, right? Okay, 2 is a one of the prime factor and 53 is one of the prime number. Okay, so exactly two different prime factor. It is a product. It is a product of two different prime number. 2 is a one prime number, 53 is a one more prime number. So the multiple, if you multiply, you will get 106. So D is in between 100 to 120. So it is false, this category. Okay, so you will get 106. So here what we have to find out, what is the value of the larger of those prime factor, Okay, so here this is a larger, so this is one condition. Second condition, this is a 5 is one of the prime number, 23 is a one more prime number. Okay, so two different prime numbers. So if you multiply this two prime number, you will get 115. And third one is 7 is one of the prime number, 17 is one more the prime number. So if you multiply, you will get 119. Okay, 119. So 119. So D, total three values comes in under between 100 to 120. One is 106, second one is 115, third one is 119. So based on this question, whether it is possible to find out, so what is the value of the larger of those prime factor, larger in this factor, which one is larger? So larger value is 119, but they are asking larger those prime factors. So whether this is a larger? No, this one is a larger. 53 is a larger. So but the highest value is 119. So from first statement alone, you are getting two different answer, two different condition is nothing but. So actually this is the largest value, that is 119, but the prime factors is 17 as well as 7, that is small value. So from that you can't determine so which one is larger. So here this is 106. 106 is also highest value, but it is less than 119. But here you will get one is a bigger value, larger value, that is 53. Okay, 53. So to name few. So thus there is a number of different value within the range that are the product of two prime factors. You have to exactly determine one is a highest factors. So in between 100 to 120, total three different value you are getting. One is 106, 115 and 119. So here three value you are getting. We have to choose only one value. So it is not possible from the first statement. First statement you are getting total 3 highest value, so that from the first statement it is not possible. Second statement, what is that? D is a even number. D is a even number. So D is a even number. Okay, so product of two prime factors, so D is a even. Okay, one of those prime factors must be 2. Okay, so 2 is a even number. Okay, next, because all the prime number are odd. Okay, so only 2 number is a prime, actually even number, remaining all are odd. Okay, the product of any two odd numbers is odd. Okay, product of any two odd is odd, whereas the product of even times and odd will always be even. So product of two odd number is equal to odd only. The product of even into odd is always even. However, it is also not possible to determine the answer. So which option is correct? Option E is correct. Statement each statement is not enough to answer for the question. I hope all of you understood. So from the first say statement tells that the D is falls in between 100 to 120. We need only one answer, but D falls under between 100 to 120. Three different answer you are getting. One is 106, second one is 115, third one is 119. So three different answer you are getting. So it is not possible. Consider for a one value, D as a one value. It is not possible. Second condition, D is a even number. Even number is nothing but only 2 is only one number you are getting. But here we should use the two different prime number, so it is not possible. Only one prime number, even prime number is available, that is 2 only. So second statement also it is not possible to determine the answer. So answer is E. So next question. So is z by 12 minus 9 an integer? Is. So in this type of question, so is nothing but yes or no type of question. If it is asked like is, then you consider as a yes or no type of question. You no need of finding the answer. Whether using this statement, whether it is possible to find out the answer or not. Yes or no type of question. Okay, so the option is like this only. So total 5 options, same options. Okay, so first statement, what is given? Z plus 24 divided by 12 is an integer. So first satisfy this condition, first satisfy first statement, then only you can go for this condition. Only if they ask like this, is z by 12 minus 9 an integer? In this type of question, first satisfy the first statement, then only you can go for the above answer, above question. Okay, so statement 1, what is that? Z by plus z plus 24 divided by 12, it is splitted in like this, z by 12 plus 24 divided by 12. So which is z by 12 plus 2. Okay, so since, so what they said is an integer, is an integer. So if it is integer, this condition is an integer, then only you can go for the question. Okay, so z by 12 plus 2. Okay, since the sum of is an integer 2. Okay, sum is an integer 2, so you can get, so consider z as 12. So what happens? It is not possible. Why? Because you should get the integer is you should get the integer only get. So z, consider z is equal to 12. So 12 divided by 12, how much? 1. Okay, plus 2 is nothing but 3. 3 is an integer, correct? 3 is an integer, so that you can choose the value z as 12. Okay, z as 12. Okay, so 11 divided by 12 plus 2. So it is not an integer. Integer is nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6. There is no fraction here. Okay, so you should take in such a way that that condition should satisfy. So if you take z is equal to 12, 24, 36, the multiple of 12, then only you will get the integer. So based on that, you can consider as z is equal to 12. Okay, z is equal to 12. So from that, so if you consider z is equal to 12, z is equal to 12. Okay, then what happens? Then you can answer for the question. So 12 divided by 12 minus 9, how much? So it whether it is an integer or not. So it is not an integer. You can easily tell it is your answer is no. Your answer is no, it is not an integer. Why? Because 12 divided by 12 minus 9, so is nothing but 1, minus 9 is nothing but minus 8, your answer. So that is not an integer, so answer is no. So you can easily tell. So statement 1 itself you can answer for the question. So you can answer for the question. Statement 2, what is that statement 2? Z is a multiple of 6. So you can take multiple of 6 is nothing but you take Z is equal to 6. Okay, Z is equal to 6. Okay, so 6, if you take 6, what happens? 6 divided by 12 minus 9. So it is not an integer. So you will get no answer. You will get no answer. So suppose if you take multiple of 6, you can take big number like, so z is equal to 600. I will take Z is equal to 600. If you take Z is equal to 600, so if you take Z is equal to 600, then what happens? 600 divided by 12 minus 9. So is nothing but 50. 600 divided by 12 is nothing but 50 minus 9. So minus 9. So you will get a integer. You will get a integer. So that is nothing but 41. So 41. Yes answer. You are getting yes answer. So if you take Z is equal to 6, Z is equal to 12. So Z is equal to 12. What happens? Z is equal to 12. So if you take 12 minus 9, you are getting negative answer. You are getting negative answer. So this is not an integer. This is not an integer. So that answer is no. So from the second statement, two different answer you are getting. Two different answer you are getting. First answer, if you taken 600, Z as 600, then you are getting yes. If you taken Z is equal to 12, 12 is also multiple of 6, so then you are getting no. Two different answer you are getting. So that, so from the second statement it is not possible to find out the answer. From the first statement, I already told, from the first statement you should take. So Z, this is condition, this is actually condition. So here you should is an integer, is an integer. So if you want to get integer, then you should take Z is equal to 12 only, or 24 only, multiple of 12 only. So if you take Z is equal to 12, what happens? 12 divided by 12, 12 divided by 12 plus 2, how much? 3. Your answer is 3. So 3 is an integer. 3 is an integer. You taken how much? Z is equal to 12. Same Z is equal to 12. You substitute here. So what happens? 12 divided by 12 minus 9. So how much answer you are getting? Minus 8. So minus 8. You can easily tell no. You can easily tell no answer. You can easily tell no answer. Suppose if you take Z is equal to 24, just try. 24 divided by 12, how much? 2 plus 2 is nothing but 4. 4 is an integer. Then same, 24 divided by 12, 2 minus 6, 2 minus 9 is nothing but how much? Minus 7. So minus 7 is an integer? No. So same answer you are getting. If you taken any number, you will get the same answer. No statement. So that which option is correct? So option A is correct. From the first statement you can answer for the question. I hope all of you understood this type of question. So this is yes or no type of question. Is, they are asking is nothing but yes or no, whether it is possible to determine or not. So first satisfy the first statement. So first determine, simplify this one and find out the Z value. Then it should be satisfy the condition. Then only you can answer for the question. Okay, you can answer for the question. Next one, if p and z are positive integer, p and z are positive integers, is pz odd? Is pz is odd? If p and z are positive integer, is, so is type of question. Is nothing but yes or no type of question. Pz is an odd. So first condition, p plus z is an even and z to the power of p is even. Okay, so these are the option is same. Okay, so from the first statement what is given? So p plus z is even, so p plus z, so I will take the final answer, you should get the even, so I will take p as 2, okay, and z as 4. So p as 2 and z as 4, or else you can take p is equal to 1 and z is equal to 3. So final answer is 4. So 4 is a even number. 4 is a even number. So satisfy the condition of, or else you can take p is equal to 2 and z is equal to 4. Then you will get the answer is 6. 6 is also even. Then only, first to satisfy this condition. Then same value, same whatever value you chosen for p as well as z, substitute to here. So then check whether your answer is correct or wrong. Correct or wrong. Just substitute. So 1 into 3. So p is 1 and z is equal to 3. So 3 ones are how much? 3. So odd. Whether it is yes or no? Yes. Odd. You are getting odd number only. Then same value. 2 into 4. 2 into 4. So what happens? 4 to the 8. So 8. That is even. Two different answer you are getting. So no. So I will tell you. So first statement itself, so I will take these two condition. So first one, your answer is 1 into 3, so 3. So whether this odd? Yes. So whether this odd? Yes. Okay, next second statement, 2 into 4, 2 into 4, your answer is 8. Whether this odd? No. So two different answer you are getting. One is yes, second one is no. So from first statement alone you can't find out the answer. Okay, so second, go for the second option. Z to the power of p is even. Z to the power of p is even. So how to take z? I will take z is equal to 2. Okay, z is equal to 2 and p is equal to 1. So z is equal to 2, p is equal to 1. Then you are getting that satisfy the condition. 2 to the power of 1. How much? So 2 only. 2 to the power of 2, 1, 2 only. Then only you will get the even number. Then same value, p I will take 1 and z is equal to 2. So same value just substitute 1 into 2. 1 into 2. So what is the answer? 2 answer. 2 answer. Whether this is odd? No. Whether this is odd? No. Okay, so next try for other number. So take I will choose so any number you can try. So but okay, so second condition I will take z is equal to 2. So here I will take so 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. So I will take z is 2 and p is also 2. So you will get how much answer? 4 answer. So whether this is odd number? No. So this is not answer. So in this case, two answer also same. No, no only. But here one is yes, one is no. So which statement alone you can answer for the question? From the second statement you can answer for the question. Second statement you are getting. So two answer also no only. So likewise you should use trial and error method. Then you can easily find out the answer. Okay. So here two different answer also no. But here one is yes, one is no. Two different answer you are getting. So in likewise you should try and find out the answer. Okay, so answer is B. Answer is B. Statement 2 alone is sufficient to answer for the question. So next question. So is, this is also is type of question. Is nothing but yes or no type of question. So A by B is false in between 0 to 1. A by B is false in between 0 to 1. So the first statement AB is greater than 1. So second statement A minus B is less than 1. So the option is like this only. So first we'll see the first statement. So first statement, so take any value. So first statement tells what? AB is greater than 1. AB is greater than 1. Take in the first case, you just take A is equal to minus 3 and B is equal to minus 2. Okay, so what happens? 3 2s are 6, so minus into minus plus, so 6 positive 6 you are getting, so that is satisfy the condition greater than 1, that is greater than 1. Second case, you take a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3, so 3 2s are 6, so that is also satisfy the condition. Then you just after satisfying the first condition, then check whether it is it is satisfied or not. So first statement, so what happens, a is how much, minus 3, a is minus 3, b is how much, minus 2, minus 3 divided by minus 2, minus minus plus 3 by 2, so that is greater than 1, 1.5 you are getting, 1.5 you are getting. So you can tell that it is not false in between 0 to 1. So your question no, your answer is no. Okay, so go for the next one. So second case you can choose all positive number, one you should choose negative number, both negative number, one should choose positive number. In this case also same, positive number, a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, any value you can choose. So 3 2 is 6, so here I choose a as 2 and b as 3, so 2 by 3, so 2 by 3 is in between point something, 0.66 something you are getting, that is false in between 0 to 1. So your answer is yes, your answer is yes, but two different answer you are getting. First option you are getting no, second one you are getting yes, two different answer you are getting. So from the first statement alone you can't find out the answer. Okay, next go for the next second statement. Second statement tells what, a minus b is less than 1. So choose a is equal to minus 3, b is equal to minus 2. So minus 3 minus of minus 2 is how much? So you are getting minus 1. So minus 1 is less than 1. Okay, then same value just substitute to first satisfy the condition, then go for the questions. Okay, same way this is common for all the problems. First satisfy the condition, each type of problem, first satisfy the condition, then go for the problem. A minus b, here I chosen a is equal to minus 3, b is equal to minus 2. Okay, so then minus 3 divided by minus 2, minus minus cancel each other, so I will write like here. So just after that you just check minus 3 divided by minus 2, so minus minus becomes plus, so 3 by 2 is nothing but 1.5, so 1.5 is nothing but it is false, not false in between 0 to 1. So your answer is no. Second condition, a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, so 2 minus 3, so that is also minus 1. So minus 1 is nothing but satisfy the condition. So once satisfy the condition, then go for the option. So here I chosen a is equal to 2, so 2 divided by 3, so your answer is 0.66. so 0.66 is nothing but it is false in between 0 to 1. 0.66 is nothing but it is false in between 0 to 1. Your answer is yes. Two different answer you are getting in the second case also. So from this statement you can't find out the answer. So which option is correct? Option E is correct. So both statement is not enough to find out the answer. So option E is correct. I hope all of you understood this type of problem. If you getting two different answer from the one statement, then you it is nothing but you can't find out the answer. Next question, if the integer y is greater than 6, is type of question. This is also is type of question. First satisfy the, if it is asking is type of question, first satisfy the statement, then go for the condition. Okay, x cube y is greater than 56. So the option is like this only. So first statement, what is that? First statement, x square is false in between 4 and 9 is nothing but, so x square is not a square root of, you take square root, so square root is nothing but, the square root of 4 is nothing but plus or minus 2, so square root of 9 is nothing but plus or minus 3. So always you just remember, while taking square root you will get the two different answer, that is nothing but plus or minus 2, plus or minus, you will get plus or minus. So x based on the first statement, x is false in between 2 to 3 and minus 3 to minus 2, minus 3 to minus 2, two different answer you are getting. So that why? Because that is taking square root, Then I will take x is equal to 3. Why? Because x is almost equal to 3. So then just substitute here. For the second statement, I will take x is equal to 3, then x cube, just substitute x cube. In the first statement it is provided just this information, x value. It is not sure which value also you can take. Either you have to take 2 or 3 or minus 3 or minus 2. Any value you can take from the first statement. So first statement alone you can't find out the answer. Okay, then go for the second statement. So second statement what tells? So x cube plus x is greater than x cube. So that is tells. Okay, so first I will choose x is equal to 3. Any value you can choose. I will choose x is equal to 3. Then based on that, just substitute x is equal to 3 for this equation. You will get 30. So 30 is greater than 27. So satisfy the condition. Once it is satisfy the condition, then you can apply for the above condition, above this one. So I will choose one is x is equal to minus 3. So trial and error method. So you can also use x is equal to one is, if you choose one positive value, then second value you should choose the negative value also. So first value I choose on x is equal to 3, second value I choose minus 3. So if you take on minus 3, you will get minus 30. So minus 30 is not greater than 27. So it is not satisfy the condition. So in such a way that you can choose only positive value. The second condition tells that if you choose a positive value only, then only it is satisfy the condition. So that choose positive value only. Negative value is not possible for the second condition. So x which should be 3 or 100. So any value is possible. If you choose an x is equal to 100, that is also possible. If you choose an 0.005, that is also possible. Any value you can choose, you will get more than, greater than, satisfy the condition. Okay, so from that you can't tell whether x cube into y is greater than 56. So whether it is possible. So from the first statement, that is not sure the value of x, either 2 or 3, minus 3 or 2. So from the first statement alone you can't find out. Second statement, it tells that only positive value is possible, negative value is not possible. It is tells, but the positive value, any value you can choose. Either you can choose 3 or 100 or 0.005, any value you can choose. So after choosing a value, then if you substitute here, you can't tell whether is x cube y is greater than 56. Why? Because x value may be 100. If you choose a more value, then it would be getting more than 56. If you choose a less value, x is equal to 0.005, then you will get very less value. So you can't tell whether it is greater than 56. So x cube y is greater than 56. So from the second statement also you can't tell this is whether it is possible or not. So club together, both statement club together. So from the first statement it tells that x value should be in between 2 to 3, and second state and also minus 2 to minus 3, and second statement tells that it is the value should be positive. So from the consider only positive value, x is in between 2 to 3 is nothing but x is equal to 3. You can assume that x is 3. So if you club together, you can tell the value of correct exact value of x. Okay, so while club together you can tell that the value of x is equal to 3. Okay, then choose any value of y. Y should be greater than 6. So I will choose y is equal to 7. Okay, so next based on the condition is what? So whether 3 cube is how much? 27 into 7 is equal to 56. So you can tell whether it is yes or no. So always yes only. Why? Because 3 cube is 27. 27 into 7. Why? Because y value should be greater than 6. So that you can easily tell if this value is yes. If you can try for other value, 4 cube. 4 cube is not possible. 3 only. X is fixed. while clubbing together, the value of x is fixed, that is 3 only. Then if you choose an y value 8, then only then also you will getting more than 56 only. So 2 value also yes. So which option is correct? Option C is correct. I hope all of you understood. If you have any doubt, please approach me. Okay. Next question. So each of A, B and C represent a single digit in the positive number ABC. If the 100 digit is twice the unit digit, is B is greater than A? Is B is greater than A? So this type of question, each of ABC represent a single digit in the positive number ABC. So here C is a unit digit, B is a tens digit and A is a 100 digit. Okay, C is a unit digit, B is a tens digit, A is a 100 digit. If the 100 digit is twice the unit digit is nothing but 2 times of C. Okay, A is equal to 2 times of C. Okay, and also here 2 statement is given, C is less than 2 and B is equal to 9. From this statement, which statement alone you can answer for the question? So based on the question, you can tell that twice of C and B and C. So it is given. So A is equal to twice that of C. So then go for the option. C is less than 2 is given. So just C is less than 2, you can choose C is equal to 1 and therefore A is equal to 2 into 1 is equal to 2. Okay, 2. But C you cannot take 0. Why? Because if you taken 0, C is 0, then here also you are getting 0 only. So it is not possible. Okay. So less than 0, C less than 0, you can take any value. Either you have to take 1 or 0 or minus 1, any value you can take. So there is, from this statement you can't find out the answer whether B is greater than A or not. It is not possible to find out. Why? Because so suppose if I choose C is equal to 1, then what is the value of A? A is equal to 2 times of C, is nothing but value of A is 2. Okay, value of A is 2. Then B value is nothing but a remaining number that is nothing but tens number. So it is nothing but it is in between 0 to 9. Okay, so any number you can choose. So suppose I will choose B is equal to 1. So whether this satisfy the condition, if I choose B is equal to 1, so what happens? B is equal to 1, A I got that is 2, A is 2, so condition is no. And also I can choose B is equal to 5, any number you can choose. So yes, two different answer you are getting. Why? Because the B is in between 0 to 9 inclusive is nothing but 9 is also inclusive. So any number you can take for B. So in second condition, what is given? B value is already given, B is equal to 9. Then find out the value of A. So how to find out the value of A? So B is already given. So from the one statement 2, B is already given this time. So other information is not given. So it is not possible to determine the value. Of A as well as C. So it is not possible. Why? Because just given the value of B. So club together, both statement club together. Statement 1 gives the information that C is less than 1. So C is equal to, I will choose C is equal to 1. So less than 1, it is not 0 is not possible. 0 is not possible for C. So that I will choose 1. And minus 1 is not possible. Why? Because the digit is nothing but it starts from 0 to 9. So minus 1 is not possible. So that I will take C is equal to 1. So B is from the second statement you will getting B is equal to 9. And A is equal to twice that of C. So is equal to 2 times of C. C is equal to 1. So 2. So from this answer you can tell whether this B is greater than or A. So B is 9, so then A is how much? 2. So answer is yes. So from the second statement is also not possible, first statement also is not possible. If you club together, then it is possible. So which option is correct? Option C is correct, not B is correct. Option C is correct. Option C is correct. Okay. So does the integer A have 4 or more different prime factors? Okay, different prime factor. So does the integer A have 4 or more different prime factor? They are asking. So from the first statement, what is given? A is divisible by 36. A is divisible by 36. So and second statement is A is divisible by 35. These are the different options. Different option. So first option, what is given from the first statement? So pick the simplest number, that is 36. So just take the factors of 36, that is nothing but 6 into 6 or 2 into 3 into 2 into 3. So here whether you are getting 4 different prime factor. So here in this it is not possible. It is not possible to get different prime factors. Why? Because here 1 2 1 2 two different. So 4 prime factor of that all together, the 4 prime factor you are getting, 4 prime factor is getting, but they are mentioned the different prime factor, whether it is possible? No. So but here is type of it is not a is type of question. So you have to answer for the question. You have to answer for the question. So in this first, from the first statement you are getting the 4 prime factor, but it is not different. So same prime factor, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 2 repetition is there, so it is not possible. Okay, so then A is a divisible by 36. Okay, so for same prime factor, 4 different prime factor you are not getting if you taken 36 as factors. Okay, then here A is a divisible by 36, right? You can choose 1260, that number also you can take, that is exactly divisible by 36. Okay, so 1260, any number you can take as a value of A, that should be divisible by 36. So then 1260, that is exactly divisible by 36. Okay, then find out the factor. So then find out whether you are getting 4 different prime factor or not. 4 different prime factor. Yes, of course you are getting the 4 different prime factors. So 2 different, first condition you are not getting the prime factor, second condition you may get the prime factor. So 2 different answer you are getting. So so from the first statement it is not possible. Similarly for the second statement, first to find out the 35 factors. So from the 35 factor it is not, you are not getting the 4 different prime factor. So it is nothing but 5 sevens are 7 5s are 35. So 2 different prime factor you are getting. If 4 different prime factor you are not getting, but A is a divisible by 35, so you can choose 210. Okay, 210, then you are getting 4 different prime factor. 4 different prime factor, what are those? 5 7 2 and 3. So if you taken the factors of 210, then you are getting 4 different prime factor. So 2 different answer you are getting. So first one no, second one is yes. 2 different answer you are getting. So from the second statement also you can't determine the answer. Next, club together 36 into 35. So then you can easily get the 4 different prime factor. So that option C is correct. Next one, option previous problem, option C is the correct answer. If you club together, then you will get the answer. Next one is mode of 15 minus m plus m minus 15 is greater than 15. So two statement is also given, m is greater than 6 and m is less than 7. So these are the option. So first statement, so what is that? So this is I will choose m is equal to greater than 6. So I will choose m is equal to 7. Okay, so just a substitute. So m is equal to 7, 15 minus 7, 8. So 7 minus 15, 8. So mode is there, so that consider plus only. So 8 plus 8 is 16. So from the first statement you are getting 16. So since 16 is a greater than 15, so 16 you are getting 16 answer, that is greater than 15. Then choose m is equal to 7. Any number you can take. Why? Because m is equal to greater than 6. So from the first statement it tells that m is greater than 6, so that you can choose any value. So I will choose m is equal to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. Trial and error method you can choose. So if you taken m is equal to 7, result is yes, answer to be question. Now try for m is equal to 15. So if you try m is equal to 15, what happens? So I will choose m is equal to 15 here. So 15 minus 15 plus 15 minus 15. So 0, 0 answer you are getting. So answer is 0. So from the first statement, I will choose m is equal to 16. M is equal to 7. Second, I will choose m is equal to 15. Any number you can choose more than 6. So first I will choose m is equal to 7. Second, I will choose m is equal to 15. So first statement satisfied, 16. 16 is greater than 15, it is satisfied. Second, 0 is greater than 15, no, it is not satisfied. Two different answer we are getting. So from the first statement alone you can't determine the answer. Next, choose m is equal to 6. So I will choose m is equal to 6. M is less than 7. So I will choose m is equal to 6. So first I will choose m is equal to 6. You will get the answer. Just substitute the answer, m is equal to 6, and here also m is equal to 6. You will get, so 9 plus 9 is equal to 18. You are getting the answer 18. Okay, so next m is equal to 0. Why? Because m is less than 7. So try m is equal to 0. Then also you are getting 30. So 18 is whether it is greater than 15? Yes. So 30 you are getting whether it is greater than 15? Yes. Here both condition you should satisfy. Yes, yes, two different, not two different answer you are getting. So option B is correct. So option B is, so statement 2 alone is sufficient to answer for the question. So next, is type of question. So is y square is less than 1? So two statement is also given. So that is y is greater than minus 1 and y is less than 1. So these are the option. Statement 1 alone is sufficient. Statement 2 alone is sufficient. Both statement together is sufficient. Each statement alone is sufficient. Both statement together is not sufficient. Okay, so first statement, statement 1 state that y is greater than minus 1. Picking number will make this easier. Y is equal to 0. This leads to S answer. So y is here y is from the first statement what tells that y is greater than minus 1. So you can take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, any value you can take. So any value can take. So if you chosen 1, so 1 square, so 1 square 1, so it is not satisfy the condition. So if you choose y is equal to 0, so y is equal to 0 satisfy the condition. Two different answer we are getting for the from the first statement. So I will tell you in detail so how it will be. So first statement, y is greater than minus 1. So first I will choose y is equal to 0. So satisfied. Next apply to here, y square to 0 square minus, so satisfy the condition, and y is equal to 1. So 1 square not satisfied. Two different answer you are getting. So first, from the first statement alone you can't find out answer. Y is less than 1. So I will choose, so y is equal to minus 1, and y is equal to 0. Second two statement. So if you choose y is equal to minus 1, minus 1 square is how much? 1 is not satisfied. And if I choose 0 is satisfied. Two different answer we are getting from the second statement also. Then club together. So y is in between -1 to 1. Then what happens? So I will take 0.5. Y is equal to 0.5, that is false in between, or else I will take y is equal to 0. 0 is in between -1 to 1, so I will take 0. Then your answer is yes only. So your answer is yes only. 0 square is less than 1, so answer is yes only. So one type of answer you are getting, so option C is correct. Next, a taqueria has exactly two items on its menu, a taco and burrito. On particular day, it sold 600 items. 600 items sold, exactly half of which were tacos. And what was the taqueria revenue on that day? So they need revenue. So find out the revenue. So taqueria has exactly two items on its menu. So what are the items? Taco as well as burrito. Okay, taco as well as burrito. On a particular day, it sold 600 items. 600 items sold. So exactly half of which were tacos. So half of which tacos. Okay, so what is the taqueria revenue on that day? Two statement is given. The average price of an item of the menu is 4.50. Average price is given. So burrito cost twice as much as taco. This statement is given. So from which statement alone you can find out the answer. The find answer, which answer is required? A revenue on that particular day, that is required actually. So from the first statement, average price of the menu is given. So average price of the menu is given. Along with that, so half average is nothing but what? Sum of the term is equal to average into number of terms. So here average is given. Along with that, number of items we know. A number of item is how much? 600. So from that you can easily determine the revenue on that day. Okay, so average is no. From the first statement you can get the average. Along with that, number of items sold, that is also known. So from that you can easily determine the revenue on that day. So from the first statement alone you can answer for the question. So from the second statement, there is no given value is given, so it is not possible to determine the revenue. They find out exactly the price. So it is not possible from the second statement. So answer is yes, A is correct. A is nothing but statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer for the question. So next question, if A and B are positive, what is the value of A minus B? So two statement is given. So and also the option is like this. So first statement is a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to 36, and second statement is a square minus b square is equal to 12. So from the first statement provides a classical quadratic forms. Okay, that is nothing but a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to 36. So it is simplified as a plus b into a plus b, that is equal to 36. So this is a formula. A plus b whole square is nothing but a square plus 2ab plus b square. So a plus b whole square is equal to 36. So from that a and b both are positive. A plus b is, so square root of 36. Square root of 36 is nothing but 6. Then you can determine the value of a plus b. A as well as b both should be positive. So but you can take any value. Why? Because you can take 2 as well as 4, or you can take if you chosen a is equal to 5 as well as b. So exact value you can't determine what is the value of a and b. So suppose if you taken a is equal to 5, b is equal to 1, then what answer you are getting? So 5 minus 1, answer is 4. So if you choose an a is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, 2 minus 4, you are getting negative answer. So two variety of answer you are getting. So from the first statement alone you can't determine the answer. Second statement, what is given? A square minus b square is equal to 12. Second statement tells that a square minus b square is equal to 12. So So what is this? What does it tells? So it is nothing but a plus b into a minus b is equal to 12. So here you can from this statement also you can't determine the value of a minus b. So why? Because there is no value. Okay, so from second statement alone also you can't determine the answer. Club together, so while clubbing together you can tell that a plus b is equal to 6 from the first statement. So from the second statement this expression, so just substitute a plus b is equal to 6 in this second equation, then you can easily determine the value of a minus b. So a minus b is equal to 2, you can easily determine. So option C is correct. C is nothing but both statement together are sufficient to answer for the question. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I covered all varieties of problem in GMAT. So in data sufficiency. So further if you have any doubt please approach me. Thank you one and all.